The first time I saw Karen, she was power walking through the neighborhood with a clipboard, her HOA vest glowing like a neon warning sign. By the time she towed my work trucks, I was ready to lose it. This wasn't just a parking dispute, it was war. My name's Javier, and I'm a contractor. I run a small business fixing up homes in Pinewood Estates, a cookie-cutter suburb where every lawn looks like it was mowed with a ruler. I don't live here. I just work here, renovating a fixer-upper for a client. My crew and I park our two work trucks old, beat-up Fords loaded with tools on the street outside the job site. They're not pretty, but they're legal. Or so I thought. Pinewood's HOA is infamous. Neighbors whisper about it like it's the mafia. Fines for untrimmed hedges, warnings for unapproved mailboxes, and Karen, the self-appointed enforcer, prowling the streets like she owns them. I'd heard the stories, but I figured I was safe. I'm not in the HOA. My client's house is one of the few non-HOA properties on the block. A rare holdout from when the neighborhood was built. No contract, no rules, no problem. Right, wrong. It started with a note. I found it taped to my truck one morning, written in aggressive red ink, unsightly vehicles violate HOA standards. Move them by 8 a.m. tomorrow or face consequences. I laughed it off. Consequences, I'm not in your club. Lady, I tossed the note and kept working. The next day, Karen showed up. She was shorter than I expected, maybe 5'2", but her energy was pure venom. You're making this neighborhood look like a junkyard, she snapped, pointing at my trucks. This is a community, not a construction site. I stayed calm. Ma'am, I'm not in your HOA. These trucks are parked legally on a public street. I checked with the city. Her eyes narrowed. We'll see about that. She stormed off, her clipboard practically vibrating with rage. I figured she was all bark, no bite. I underestimated her. The problem escalated faster than a summer storm. By week's end, I had 3 more notes, each nastier than the last. Eyesore lowering property values. Remove immediately, I ignored them. But Karen wasn't playing. She started rallying the HOA board, claiming my trucks were a public nuisance. Neighbors I'd never met began giving me side-eye. One guy, Tom, a retired accountant who lived across the street, warned me over coffee. Karen's got connections at City Hall, he said. She's been on the phone with them all week. I called the city myself. The clerk confirmed my trucks were fine public street, no permit needed, no violations. I thought I was in the clear. Then came the twist. On Friday, I met Maria, my client's sister. She was dropping off paint samples for the renovation when she saw the latest note on my truck. Oh, Karen's at it again. She groaned. She did this to me last year. Turns out, Maria used to live in Pinewood and had her own run-in with Karen over a non-compliant backyard trampoline. She got it towed while my kids were crying in the driveway, Maria said, her voice tight. She's relentless. Maria's story lit a fire under me. This wasn't just about my trucks anymore. It was about Karen's power trip. I decided to fight back. I printed out the city's parking regulations, highlighted the relevant sections, and taped them to my trucks with a polite note. Not an HOA. Parked legally. Please respect. I thought it was a checkmate. It wasn't. Monday morning, I showed up to the job site and froze. My trucks were gone. Vanished. The street was empty, save for a few tire marks and a smug-looking Karen standing on her porch, sipping coffee. I stormed over, heart pounding. Where are my trucks? She didn't even blink. Towed. They were an eyesore. You can't do that, I shouted. I'm not in your HOA. I checked with the city. Karen smirked. The city agreed they were a nuisance. Maybe you should have read the fine print. I was livid. Those trucks held $20,000 worth of tools, my livelihood. I called the city, and the same clerk from last week sounded flustered. Uh, Sir, there was a complaint filed under a nuisance ordinance. The tow was authorized by who I demanded answers, but the clerk clammed up. I tracked down the tow yard, an hour away. The guy there, a grizzled dude named Mike, shook his head when I explained. HOA lady called it in, said it was urgent. We just follow orders. It had cost $1 $200 to get my trucks back, plus $200 a day in storage fees. I didn't have that kind of cash lying around. My crew couldn't work without tools, and my client was breathing down my neck about deadlines. I was screwed. That's when Maria showed up again, this time with a bombshell. I know someone who can help, she said. She introduced me to Lisa, a local reporter who'd been itching to expose Pinewood's HOA for years. Lisa was a firecracker, all sharp questions and zero patience for nonsense. Karen's been dodging me forever, she said, grinning. Let's nail her. Lisa dug into the city records and found something juicy. Karen's connections at City Hall were real. Her cousin was a mid-level official who'd fast-tracked the tow order without proper review. It was shady, possibly illegal. Lisa's eyes lit up. This is my Super Bowl. The showdown came that evening. Lisa organized a public meeting at the community center, promising neighbors a chance to discuss HOA overreach. I didn't expect much, but the place was packed 50, maybe 60 people, all fed up with Karen's reign of terror. I brought photos of my towed trucks and the city's parking rules. Lisa had documents proving Karen's cousin had bent the rules. Karen walked in late, clearly blindsided. She tried to take control, banging her clipboard like a gavel. This is an HOA matter. Non-members have no say. Lisa wasn't having it. She projected the city records on a screen, showing Karen's cousin's name in black and white. The room erupted. Neighbors shouted about their own Karen horror stories, fines, threats, even a towed RV. Karen's face went from smug to ashen. She stammered, "This is a misunderstanding." Then I stepped up. "You towed my trucks illegally," I said, holding up the photos. "I'm not in your HOA. You cost me my tool, my crew's wages, and my client's trust. This isn't about parking, it's about you abusing power." The crowd roared. Someone yelled, "Resign!" Karen tried to bolt, but Lisa blocked her path, mic in hand. "Care to explain your cousin's role in this?" Karen froze, speechless. For the first time, she looked small. Outside, the tow truck arrived, hauling my trucks back. Lisa's news outlet had shamed the city into reversing the order. But the real climax was the chaos unfolding on the street. Neighbors recorded everything, phones out, as Karen tried to slink away. Her HOA vest was crumpled, her clipboard abandoned. The wooden signpost someone had stuck in the ground read, "HOA gone rogue," in angry red letters. It was viral gold. The fallout was swift. Lisa's story hit the local news, then social media. HOA gone rogue trended for days. Karen's cousin was suspended pending an investigation. The HOA board forced Karen to step down, and the city issued a public apology to me, covering the tow fees. I got my trucks back, but the damage was done. 2 weeks of lost work, a hit to my reputation, and a client who nearly walked. Karen, she's still in Pinewood, but she keeps her head down now. Neighbors say she hasn't touched a clipboard since. I heard she tried to sell her house, but no one's buying. Karma's a tough realtor. For me, it's bittersweet. I'm back to work, but I'll never forget the stress, the rage, the feeling of being targeted for no reason. Maria and Lisa became unlikely allies, and the neighborhood's quieter now. But I still check my trucks every morning, just in case. What do you think ever dealt with a Karen who went too far? Share your story in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.